Alex Jeffrey Preddy was an ICU nurse at the VA, and according to the woman he helped, his last words were, "Are you okay?" And despite the fact that this man was as close to heroism as one can possibly be, they are still calling him an armed illegal. When I went into AFib and had to go to the Manhattan VA, there was not a single person as helpful as the ICU nurses. When I told them that I wasn't okay being inside a hospital because all of my trauma revolved around medicine, being that I was a combat medic in Afghanistan and then a paramedic in the States, they went above and beyond to keep me calm for the 2 days that I was there. A nurse convinced a doctor that when I said I cannot go through the cardioversion procedure awake and alert, they went and they found a fucking storage room for me to be put under in. Because VAs don't have the funding to have a spare operating room for an elective unconsciousness. I mean, the procedure wasn't elective. I was going to die. But they wanted to shove a tube down my throat and shock my heart while I was still awake. And I said, no, I'll fight you. And a nurse took me seriously and went above and beyond to get me the most comfortable version of that care, which was being knocked unconscious in a storage room. But still, it's so fucking disgusting that they're trying to paint this man as anything other than the ideal American citizen. Community conscious, helps other people, specifically veterans, and his last act in life before a bunch of masked fucking dipshits killed him was to try to help another person. And he was also a Second Amendment enthusiast, as he had a concealed carry, which was his right in Minnesota, where you're allowed to do that. In fact, you're allowed to do it in every state. Because remember, we don't fucking make laws about guns. Not effective ones, anyway. And where is the NRA to support this man who was concealed carrying, which they then took off of him before they shot him 9 times to death? He did not brandish his weapon. He didn't even pull his weapon. He was held down, maced in the face, and then shot over and over and over again until dead. And now, not only is he dead, but now a countless amount of veterans won't be able to get the care they need because we've just shot one of the very few nurses who want to work for fucking sub-pay at a facility with no fucking money. In the ICU of all things. He took care of the veterans who are the most unhealthy. I've worked in an ICU when I was doing my paramedic shifts. Nobody fucking works harder than an ICU nurse. Unless you're praising him, keep his fucking name out of your mouth.